Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the July 30th Board of Education regular business meeting. Would everyone please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we know this is a relatively brief meeting, so I don't believe there's any alterations to the agenda. So the first item of business, Carm, is the WTA contract. And please speak to the information that we've received.
All right. So this item is for board approval, ratification of the WTA contract. This contract runs, it's a 4-year contract. It includes last school year and it runs through 2023. And it was recently passed by WTA overwhelmingly. And we have been discussing the particulars for a while. So I don't, and unless you guys have questions, I'm more than happy, or Brian can, we can both answer those questions for you.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Stu.
Okay, when I was looking at the comparison sheets, and I just wanted to clarify, and I don't have it in front of me because I can't get it on my screen. I guess I should have my other computer up. The 75% payment, that is that's referred to on the new version. That is for the HSA funding if somebody chooses to go to the high deductible. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
We have the high deductible in. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Sue. So the highlights, as you guys have in your packet, we're looking at a 3% going through the each of the existing years that this CBA covers. And there were the healthcare information is there. The base plan still for new members still is at 80/20 of value. High deductible is there. We do expect some of our members, if not many of them, especially the new members, to perhaps migrate over to the high deductible. And what do you think? Yeah, as you can, I think that the most important piece was the piece that that Brian Freeman put together for you in terms of sustainability, long-term financial plan for the district. There's a net cost for this contract that is well within our purview, or well within our within the confines of our long-range financial plan. So I do think this is a contract that is a win-win for everybody. So that's all I have for right now, unless there are other questions, and we will need a motion and a second to approve.
Just a quick question, and I think this is an easy one. If somebody wants to switch to the high deductible, do they have to wait for the open enrollment, or does the contract considered an event that allows them to switch?
The approval of the contract would be a qualifying event. So that is a possibility if anybody wants to jump on in September or soon after.
Thanks, Brian. It'd be nice in 6 months just to have the stats, see how many people sign up for the high deductible.
Yeah.
We get that every year.
Great, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions? Thank you to everybody for bringing this to a conclusion. We're all very happy to see this come to this state. And so may we have a motion, please, to accept the contract as presented?
Oh, so moved.
Sue, and a second?
And a second, Linda.
Linda, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And I believe that was everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Motion carries. I'm sorry, Carmen, were you going to say something?
Nope, not at all.
Okay, we're all very happy about this. Thank you.
Is there any announcement that goes out regarding that the contract was approved?
It goes out to the teachers for sure. And then, so I'll let Chris Wojcik, the WTA president, know that the board has unanimously approved. And that also allows us to move forward with some of the things that Brian Freeman's office has to do in terms of salaries and retro as well. So there will be an announcement to the teachers.
Okay. Is Krista prepared if we get questions?
Krista?
Rose.
Communications?
Yeah, she would probably just forward them along to either me or Brian Freeman
Okay.
or Dave Swinson. Okay.
And we can do the same, Mike. Anytime you have any questions that you're not comfortable with, forward to myself, to Linda, copy us all in, so we're all aware. That's completely fine, and we'll get the right answer. Okay?
Perfect.
All right. Moving on to the school resource officers intermunicipal agreement. This has come to us. It was delayed a bit, so we're glad to see this in place as well. Does anybody have any questions? Or Carm, did you want to clarify or speak to anything?
Yeah, so we have to approve this contract each year. We have a partnership with the town where we basically share 2 of their officers now. We basically pay 10 months out of the 12 for our school resource officer. Actually, it's 9 when we consider our vacations. And so we share benefits and pension and salary. So it's one of those amazing partnerships that we have with the town. Officer Hurley has been with us since the very beginning. This will be his 5th year. And there's a new officer joining this year. Officer Kevin Johnson is going back to, I'm not sure if it's road patrol or whatever it's going to be, but he's going back 12 months totally with the police department. So the new school resource officer has a wonderful last name. The last name is Gumina. So this is my second cousin, once removed, who I really had never met until about 2 weeks ago. But he grew up in Wayne, and he's about the age of my daughter. But in any case, so just so that when you see Officer Gumina, realize, yes, we are related, sort of. I mean, we are related, there's no doubt. But again, it's a shirt tail type of thing. And he's already, so when he's pulling people over right now, because he's on traffic duty. So people are asking, oh, are you related to Carm? And so, and in order to get out of speeding tickets, they all say to him, oh, Carm and I are really good friends. I don't think you should give me a ticket. But I think they're still getting tickets. So I didn't want you guys to be surprised, but I didn't realize that that Matt, his name is Matt, Officer Matt Gumina, had joined our police department, and that I had a cousin named Matt, who was a police officer. So just so that you guys, full transparency, because I don't want any kind of people saying, oh, it's nepotism.
Right.
So
Carmen,
just so that's out there. Yes.
Carmen, if we tell them that we're not friends with you.
Yes, that's much better. Yes, you'll definitely get out of your ticket then.
Okay.
Anyway, okay.
That's it. Give you a ticket.
I know. All right, that's all I have for that. You guys can take action.
Okay, are there any questions about the agreement? I know we've all had firsthand experience, either through students or anecdotally, about the value of the school resource officers and all that they've brought to our district, and we are so very grateful for this partnership. I know you all feel the same way that I do. So can we have a motion, please, to accept the agreement?
So moved.
Maria, and second? Michael, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, again, I believe that's unanimous. I can't see everybody all at once.
It was.
The motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the revised school calendar. So we're going to bump back a little bit and Karma's going to lead us through
Yeah.
this.
So we are, and this has been, we have notified our families and our staff. I think it was last week. It was either last week or 2 weeks ago in my Friday thoughts. But so we are going to have our first day with students. Their first day will be Thursday, September 10th. This allows us to have 6 days with teachers so they can begin to plan within their PLCs and also begin to get a better understanding of what their Wednesdays are gonna feel like on the within our hybrid model, some of the technology, some of the curricular changes, also the changes in cleaning and safety protocols as well. So the idea was to build in as many. So we're using a whole bunch of our superintendent's days early instead of spaced throughout the year. But the other piece to this is we have built into our calendar 3 or 4 snow days. And in essence, we're sort of taking, if you can think about maybe taking snow days early, because next year we're not going to have snow days. And I've also mentioned this before. I've mentioned it at every one of my graduation speeches. So inclement weather days, the kids won't come into school, but they will Zoom in or Google Meet in to all of their classes. So they'll still have their typical day. So we can still count the day as an instructional day. And because we're making that change, we can, in essence, use our snow days early and use them now up front in September. So, and I do think Brian Meenan, it looks like we're still gonna have a superintendent's day in early October. We did want to keep that one because it'll be about 5 weeks or 4 weeks after school has started. We wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to have all of our teachers together, maybe not in the same spot, like physically together, but just to check in on how things are going.
Yeah, you're right, Carm. We've actually kept them both. The one in October, and the other one is split. You'll see it on there, but if you read the details of it, 9 through 12 takes the second one in January, and then K-8 takes the other one in May, I believe.
Yeah,
okay. Those are
14.
split. It's not 3 more.
Yeah. So we still end school, in our typical time in June. Graduation next year, we did not really. I don't think we added it. No, we did not. We put a TBD when you look at that because we're not exactly sure of the date of graduation and we're not entirely sure of the place. People really enjoyed having graduation on the turf in their on their home turf. And so we may very well replicate that again next year. So we're just not gonna make that decision now. So, but those are all the changes.
And hopefully we won't have any more.
Yeah.
I know. All right, any questions or feedback about the calendar changes? Everybody else?
I just have one. I'm sorry, was someone else talking?
Go ahead, Maria.
All you.
If you're splitting the middle school and the high school it's going to be a K-5 or is it a K-8 that is going to be split from the 9-12, the 2 superintendent conference days?
It's K-8.
Okay.
9-12.
So then what happens with kids that are in 8th grade that are taking high school courses? You know what I mean?
Nothing. No.
Okay.
It's not going to affect them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Question though. Okay.
And then, sorry, also one more thing. Does this impact teachers teach teachers? Because that came up in one of the conversations that we had recently. Do you think that's still able to take place in some shape or form, or that remains TBD as well?
Well, it's not TBD. I think our plan is to do something on that day similar to what we've done in the past. Unfortunately, we can't get, obviously, not all going into the auditorium for a keynote speaker. We're probably not all going to be at Schrader. It's just too many people. Whatever. I mean, we're trying to, again, be as safe as possible. So we have a whole bunch of virtual things that we're beginning to work on. So TTT will occur. It won't look the same. But I think we're even going to we're still going to call it TTT, right, Mr. Neenan?
That was the last time we talked. Yes.
Yeah.
But as we know, nothing is 100% set in stone, and everything has the ability to be malleable this year, right? Flexibility.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking there's a potential to be so many more topics that have the opportunity to be addressed and shared with others. So just based on our current circumstances.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, if there's no more conversation about the calendar, can we have a motion to accept, please?
I'll make that motion.
Sue, in a second.
I'll second it.
Linda, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. The revised school calendar. Moving on to the Parkland transfer agreement. Brian, if you would walk us through this.
So this is the final culminating agreement and board approval to transfer Basket Road over to the district. It took some time to get here, quite a few hurdles to jump over to transfer property between two municipalities. We waited on the state legislature for a while for their approval, and then waited again for the governor to approve. That took a few more months. And then the recent delay just had to do with a user agreement, an inter-municipal agreement that the town had with another entity for using the parking lot over there, and just trying to clear up the legalities around that. So we finally got through all this, and so we are ready to present to the board officially for your adoption. You see, the town has taken care of their end, and we are the last step. And then Carm signs, and I insert a check in the letter and send it over to the town to complete the process.
Okay, does anybody have any questions or
I do have a question.
I do too.
Just because I wasn't on the board initially when it came up, can you just talk a little bit about the plan? Like, so updating the facility and then sustaining it and making it profitable and usable for students and taxpayers?
Yeah, so I guess I could start with the actual price tag of where that came from. We were required under law to pay the assessed value on the facility. So that's where the 324 came from. For the state to approve the whole process, we had to pay whatever the assessed value of the property was. And then what we're going to do with the property is, one is we want to live it for a year under our normal facilities process. And see what needs to be done. Does the turf need to be replaced within a year, 2 years, 3 years? We have a little bit more equipment than the town did to work on grooming and things like that. So what some of the baseball folks were saying was, all that the turf is done. Well, if we give it a little TLC, maybe we can squeeze a couple of years out of it before it might need to be replaced. So we're looking at that all right now. We actually we're going to start in March, and then everything happened, so we didn't get to live any usage of it right now because we're really still not using it. It's just kind of sitting there. Some of the youth that are cleared have been using it, but our teams haven't really been on it at all. So it's really hard in this kind of, what we were hoping for a couple seasons of trying to wear it out and see what's going to go on, really get a good sense of truly what the facility needs and what we need to do to it and how we could operate it and look for some efficiencies to make it you know, at the very least break even, which I think we'll have no problem doing. But finding that happy median of, you know we have issues with spring sports and facilities, and you know what, it's actually probably going to be a swing space while Schrader is under construction, then when Thomas is under construction. So some of the profit-making things of bringing in outside baseball groups, outside users to use it, are probably going to be pushed back a couple of years because we're going to be using it as our spillover while Schrader and Thomas are under construction.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's like a wood bat league there or something. There was.
Yeah, there's a wood bat league, there's a senior league, there's a couple other adult leagues. So, you know, right now the priority is it's us, it's community groups, and then it's the private groups, like anything else. But, you know, we're about 6 months behind schedule of really where we want it to be and how to best utilize the facility.
Okay.
And I just had a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So since we had a verbal agreement with the previous town administration, and then their leadership changed. So were there any issues with, you know, the so-called, I guess, gentleman's agreement to where you are today?
I guess, Sue, I don't know the gentleman's agreement.
Well, you know, we had a verbal agreement before as to what this whole agreement would look like. And then the administration or the supervisor changed. And now this agreement that we have, is it really the same thing that?
Yeah.
It's the
Yes.
it's the same exact deal.
Okay.
Yep.
So there were no issues with the transfer?
No, none at all.
Nope.
Okay.
I like the idea of the increased opportunity and the fact that we can use it for our kids, because we know that so much is going to be in flux over, you know, if we call this a bridge year, whatever we're going to refer to it as. So I think this is going to turn out to be a nice silver lining for us. So any further questions or conversation about the transfer agreement? Seeing none, can we have a motion, please, to accept as presented?
So moved.
Saf, and a second by Sue. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Tammy, I'm just going to abstain since I feel like I don't know enough. I'm just going to abstain.
Absolutely. So, you know, going forward, if there are things that you'd like to discuss prior and be more informed about, you know, we've all had the opportunity to be familiar with this issue for, you know, this item for quite some time. So we're always willing and available to talk through anything.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So motion carries as voted upon. Moving on to the next item, the tax certiorari, 1930 Empire Boulevard.
Yeah, and not to waste a good opportunity of having an impromptu board meeting to throw a couple business items on there. So this, you know, was a tax certiorari that we've been under negotiations for a little bit and kind of came to fruition last week. Came to a head with some agreements. This is, you know, the creative name of 1930 Empire Boulevard is literally the building at 1930 Empire Boulevard. You might recognize it as it's where the Verizon Wireless is, by the old Chili's across from Ruger's over in that area. That's the facility we're talking about, just to kind of put a kind of name and place recognition for you. So they were challenging the assessed value. So we are looking at a refund of exposure of just a little less than $30,000. So under the settlement agreement, the property is going to get dropped down to $826,500 moving forward. They're going to discontinue their proceedings and waive the refunds. So we think this is a good deal. Based on occupancy of that actual facility, there's more space that is not being leased right now. We felt if we kept going that actually we'd probably not have a good leg to stand on with the current assessment. So this is, you know, good compromise situation for all parties involved.
As is usually the case, a good compromise. Does anyone have any questions or anything to discuss about this?
Well, Brian, just one question, not necessarily on this one, but do we ever go in the other direction? Something's undervalued and we seek to increase the assessed value and bring in more money?
That would not be in our purview. That would be the assessor would change the value of a property when they go do their evaluations and reevaluations. That's not something that we participate in.
Okay.
You know, if we go to litigation, for say if we played this out, could a judge say, nope, this is fine, I actually think it's higher than that? I've never seen that happen, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. But generally, I'd have to go dig around to find a case where that happened.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, can we please have a motion to accept the tax certiorari agreement as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Mike. In a second.
Second.
Maria, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Okay, that concludes the business of the meeting. And if there's no further discussion, can we have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Linda, in a second.
Second.
By Sue. Okay, meeting is adjourned. Everyone stay safe and healthy, and we'll look forward to our next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.